Look, it's been almost 2 weeks, and this scene still plays in my head over and over. Roll it.
He's about to get his soul sucked.
What did he say?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. A little bit of announcements before we get into all the movie news we gotta dive in here today. I'm gonna tell you guys, this space is about to get really weird and freaky. It's not because my intros either. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be in the process of moving studios into a new home and redesigning this area. I know some of y'all hate change, so this space is about to get a lot less Funko Poppy, really empty and sad, kind of like my soul.
His soul sucked.
So pretty soon it'll just be me and the green screen you'll be seeing, and what I thought it'd be fun while I'm in the process of creating that new studio and messing around where my collectibles should be. You guys comment down below what you want to be the background of every video, each new video I make until my studio is complete. I'll go ahead and pick a random comment to be the background of a video. So if you wanted to be the B movie, I'll put the B movie there as the background. If you want it to be freaking Cat in the Hat, I'll have some furry Mike Myers behind me. I think that'd be kind of fun. So start leaving your suggestions down below. All right, some of the stuff we're going to be diving into here today is we have an update on the Black Adam movie with Dwayne Johnson. I have some exclusive photos that were sent to me I want to show off to you guys, along with some details about the film that we just found out about. Talking about the Mortal Kombat franchise and if they're going to be making a second or even third movie, and if they do, what will that be about? Update you on the Transformers reboot, a new horror movie in the works, that and so much more. So how many of you guys leave me your opinions down below with everything we discussed here today, hitting that like button, subscribing if you haven't already. So let's get into the first story. You guys know here, I like to go ahead and bring up movies that probably no one is talking about, but the premise is interesting enough that I have to show it and share it with you guys to see if you think it's a good idea. And what we have right here is Deadline went ahead and announced Universal sets winter 2022 release for Blumhouse Scott Derrickson horror movie The Black Phone. Now Scott Derrickson you might know as the director of the movie Sinister and also Doctor Strange. He recently went ahead and left Doctor Strange 2 because of some creative differences with Marvel. So this is a guy who definitely knows his vision for a movie, knows what he wants to do, and if it doesn't meet his criteria, he will leave it for other projects, and hence here we go, his other project, The Black Phone. Now the reason this caught my attention is because the premise I think is a little fascinating. Let me read it to you guys. It goes as, in The Black Phone, Finney Shaw, a shy but clever 13-year-old boy, is abducted by a sadistic killer and trapped in a soundproof basement where screaming is of little use. When a disconnected phone on the wall begins to ring, Finney discovers that he can hear the voices of the killer's previous victims, and they are dead set on making sure what happened to them doesn't happen to Finney. That, I think, is creative and inventive enough right there. You're a person trapped in the basement of some stalker. You have no way out. All you have is this random phone down there, and the people on the other line are the previous victims. Wonder what that phone call's like.
Run, bitch, run!
But like I said, I think that premise is interesting enough. It's different, especially since you also have a 13-year-old boy as the main protagonist. That's scary enough that you're an adult being kidnapped. Now you're a child, helpless, and all you start hearing is dead people on the phone? How is that even gonna go down? And what will be the eventuality of this movie? Will it all be in his head? Does he even know that these are the previous victims? Is hell using T-Mobile or AT&T? I gotta know what service I gotta be on. You guys hear about the Black Phone and this premise. What do you guys think about it, and is this a movie that you'll watch? Talking about something I was excited about and probably in the minority of being excited about, we have an update on the live-action HeMan movie that was in the works, and well, a lot of y'all are going to be clapping today because they went ahead and confirmed that Noah Centineo, that once was announced and confirmed to be playing the live-action HeMan, the dreamboat responsible from all them Netflix movies, well, his people recently came out and said that he is no longer attached to the HeMan live-action movie, and essentially meaning this thing is probably scrapped once again. For those of you who are still unfamiliar with HeMan and the property of Masters of the Universe, it was a cartoon back in the day that sold a bunch of toys. I know my father was someone who really enjoyed that cartoon series, and I caught a few episodes here and there. Might not have been my favorite thing in the world, but I thought it's definitely a world that has a fascinating history and lore that could serve really well in live action, and they've been trying to make this thing happen for years, but the project just seems cursed, because every time they announce it's happening, couple months later, it'll be canceled, just like it is now. And like I was saying, I was in the minority of being excited for this because I didn't mind Noah Centineo as the choice. I'm never one to just jump and hate on an actor for certain reasons. I thought the kid isn't half bad. He's just starting up, and there's been other actors who have just started up in Hollywood that were way worse that are now unbelievably successful, like Dwayne Johnson. That was a guy whose acting was horrible at first, was a guy that everybody was making fun of. Now he's consecutively the most paid Hollywood star there is right now. But you guys hear about this. No Centineo is no longer He-Man. Are you happy about it? Who would be your replacement cast member? And do you think the project is dead? And I guess since we were on the subject of Black Adam and talking about that world right now, we do have some updates on what's going on with that movie. They recently went ahead and officially started rolling the cameras. We know this because Aldous Hodge, the guy who's playing Hawkman in the Black Adam movie, went ahead and took to his Instagram to say day one of shooting. But not even just that, thanks to a user that goes by the name at Gohan Argentino, great name by the way, he went ahead and messaged me some exclusive photos that he came across when working at a prop warehouse where they make props for big budget Hollywood movies, and he was nice enough to share them with me. He said I could share it with you guys, so here they are, some of the first weapons that these characters will be holding in the Black Adam movie. You can't find these anywhere. This is the first time I'm showing them off to you guys right here. I think this is some pretty cool stuff because speaking of Hawkman, it's pretty obvious that his signature weapon is lying right there in the prop department. This right here appears to be the mace that will most likely be wielded by Hawkman. Now, from what we've heard about this version of Hawkman in the Black Adam movie is they will be portrayed as an alien race that comes down to Earth. So it'll be fascinating to see if this is something that he brings with him as alien technology or is something that he goes ahead and creates when he's on Earth. But there are other crazy weapons here that could end up being signature players in the Black Adam movie. Like, to me, what my eyes get drawn to is this funky looking sword with some awesome designs. The only sword of note that I could think of off the top of my head is the God Killer, which was sort of touched upon in the Wonder Woman movie. Instead of it being a sword though, it ended up being Diana herself as the God Killer, so maybe they'll actually introduce the sword the God Killer this time somewhere here. If not, this is also just a good showcase of what the time period is going to be in this Black Adam movie, because we are set to be following Black Adam through many decades and years of him being alive as Black Adam. I was one who was not at all excited for Black Adam, but once they started introducing the Justice Society of America, knowing they're going to be part of it, having Dwayne Johnson suit up here, confirming he's not going to use any padding on his suits like they did with the Shazam suit. Pair that up with knowing DC fandom is this October where we'll get the first trailer. I'm getting pretty hyped for Black Adam. You guys see these photos? Is there anything interesting you could catch in there? And what are your thoughts and general excitement for Black Adam? Speaking about a franchise that definitely needs a lot of honoring here, let's talk about the Transformers world. Now, if you guys have been following the channel, I've been telling you that there are several Transformers movies in the works right now. There are set to be 3 live-action movies currently happening. One that's a reboot, one that is a spin-off into the Beast Wars universe, another one that is a continuation of Bumblebee. Well, today we got an update on that rebooted Transformers franchise and who our 2 main leads of the franchise are gonna be. We have here Deadline reporting that Transformers Dominique Fishback lands lead role opposite Anthony Ramos in next installment for the Paramount franchise. This article goes ahead and confirms that the next Transformers reboot is going to star these 2 actors as the main lead role for the Transformers franchise, and I know a lot of you out there are looking at these actors and going, who the heck are these guys? And honestly, I think that is a good thing. With all due respect to the actors, of course, these guys aren't nobodies in the industry. They've shown up in some notable projects. Dominique in Judas and the Black Messiah. She had a great role and is a great actress as well. Then you have Anthony Ramos, who's about to show up in The Heights, a movie I am looking forward to seeing. But they are not star power actors that are going to drive people to the theater just by their names alone. And that's what I mean by this is a good thing, because it seems like they're headed in the right direction of focusing on the story and the Transformers instead of bringing in big stars like a Mark Wahlberg, a John Cena, a Haley Steinfeld to be your titular human characters in Transformers. They're like, nope, we're going to take a risk with these talented actors that no one really is talking about and see if our story can stand the test of time. That's really what is letting me know they're going with a way different route for the Transformers movies, and hopefully I will really dig it. You guys hear about Paramount wanting these 2 to be the leads for the new Transformers reboot. What do you think that tells you about the franchise, and do you think this is a good direction direction, or should they have gone with like a Tom Holland and a Samuel Jackson to be part of your Transformers franchise? Go big or go home. We're getting into talking about some Mortal Kombat here and the future of the franchise. Even though some fans and even critics are mixed on the actual critical reception for Mortal Kombat, where I stand, I had fun with the movie. Yeah, it definitely has its flaws, but I think it did enough for me to actually enjoy the movie and not worry too much about some of the gaping holes in this movie. But it also seemed like audiences were willing to show up for this because it had a healthy reception at the box office in an era of the pandemic. But here we have the writers of the Mortal Kombat movies talking about what their plans are for this trilogy. They go ahead and say, movie 1, we were always kind of setting this up. Well, I was setting it up. It's basically in my head. I always saw movie 1 as pre-tournament, then movie 2 is hopefully tournament, then movie 3 is post-tournament. So the idea was that this was going to be a pre-tournament movie that would hopefully sow the seeds for the tournament, the final. Of course, I want to see the second movie just for that tournament, how it'll go down, actual rules in place, fatalities happening, and that character that they were hinting at coming in, I for sure want to see that man. But that third movie where they say post-tournament, that's where I'm like, is Earthrealm gonna win the tournament in the second movie? Because if they do, I feel then like that's a boring third movie. They won, they've set balance, everybody can keep their realms and be separate. So the only logical choice I could think of, Outworld was one tournament win away from being able to take over Earthrealm. I feel like they would have won in the second movie, and the third film would have been that apocalyptic takeover where then a bunch of fighters would have to gathered up together to fight for their realm. Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself, but I feel like that's a great little setup right there, and kind of an Avengers Infinity War lineup that could have really pumped up this Mortal Kombat movie. So I'd really love to know from you guys if you think a second movie is even going to happen. But that is just all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos and being patient with me. I'm being on and off with my schedule right now while I'm moving studios. I promise to keep you guys informed during this whole process, but again, just thank you, and be sure to follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.